Lucy Larsson is my name. And of course, what Kiki was saying, I have different roles. I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, and I do inspirational speaking as well. So in all these roles, I apply three words. I guide people, I coach people, and I train people to bring out the best in themselves. And it all comes down to aligning with your mind, your body, and your soul. So that's where I find that we all here, we have that common themes in what we do. We want the good for all the people. And today, I would like to tell a story because that is what I do. Either if I'm a coach or a mentor or a trainer, I work with people's stories. I want to bring out that story because first and foremost, why are you telling your story? And for who are you telling the story? And I believe if I am to tell a story, I would love to tell that story to myself, because only then I can convince other people if I am convinced. So my dear ladies, or may I use the word, my dear sisters, which I love to use. Join me on a journey of a story. At the end of the story, I would like to share with you some of the tips and takeaways and to show you what I can do. Perhaps you have friends or relatives or other people who might relate to what I do in order to build their lives and bring out the best in them. Are you ready? Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Okay. How to glow and grow with your story in a country far away from home. The sun slowly disappeared beyond the horizons. The flock of starlings gathered in the huge group. It was almost dark. And can you imagine these birds in their nature when they are about to go to bed? They join in huge groups. And that group is not a sign of silence because they're singing so loud for about 5 minutes. It's very disturbing. However, it's a sign the night is falling. And just like my family, we gather just before nightfall to search for protection, to find the warmth together with your mother, your father, your sister, your brothers. These birds, they gather. They find their own warmth, their love to protect and to be safe. It was a Sunday evening. My family gathered in the house. The lights were off. The adults and the children, they sat on the floor and my parents were sitting on the chairs. In the dark, I could hear the mosquitoes. They were buzzing around my face and I could smell the mosquito coil. And there was silence. It was totally dark. And then I hear my father's voice because that time, it was time for stories of the night. It's a proverb in Samoan. It means a great duck fly away, leaving its family's nest, and they come back to the water. That's where they belong. That's where they nurture. That's where the food, that's where the comfort is. And my father said, you're leaving Samoa for something much bigger than yourself. You are representing the family, the village, the church. Take responsibility and look after yourself. You will return with success. And I felt something strange in me. The question is, why? Why I'm feeling strange? Because my father placed a responsibility on me. And I felt important at a time. And I was wondering, why am I so important? I, together with two of my siblings, received scholarships to study in New Zealand. Was I so important? I never considered myself so important because I thought there are hundreds of students from Samoa who received a similar scholarship as I did. I was a woman, a young woman that was ready to conquer the world, and the freedom out there was opening to me. However, a lot of fear. I left Samoa feeling important, but I did not believe I was important. You see, I grew up in a community, in a society that you obey you obey your parents. You listen to your mother. You don't question your father's decision. Your mistakes will ruin the reputation of your parents, not you, your parents. That picture was in me. What I do, what I say, how I react will not reflect me. It will reflect my parents. So I never consider myself as important. With that upbringing, I wonder, do you resonate? Have you grown up in that community where don't answer back to your mother? Do we do that with our children today? How important are you and how important am I? With this upbringing, I barely saw myself as important. I was 18 at the time. On this rainy day, I was already a mother. I sat with my two children by the dining table. The children, they were happy. They were talking with each other, sharing, and they were giggling and doing the different sounds with the plates and spoons and the knives. I was so exhausted. I did not really listen to them. I was responding as a tired mother. Yeah, I know. Have you been doing that to your children? After a long day at work and you come home and yeah, go over there, eat this, eat that. Yeah, that was me. The sound of my daughter's voice, it sounded like she was speaking to me in a tunnel. And that's when the question came. Mama, who is the most important person in your life? She was 6 years old at the time. Now she's 12. Me, I'm the most important person in my life. Why? Because in school, they tell us a family is very important. I looked at my daughter and I noticed the sadness in her eyes. She slowly looked down on her food. And I turned around to look at my son. And I saw confusion in his eyes. What have you seen in your children's eyes lately? Have you noticed happiness or sadness or disappointment? But why? The silence at a dining table was broken when my daughter whispered, Mama, you are not nice. The urge in me to defend myself. Of course I'm nice. I'm your mother. I decide. But I realized it was not the right time. It was a hard blow that night because I realized I was telling a lie. I was never important. I was never in first place in my world. I always put other people first. I always do things for others. What I do, what I say, it's for the sake of other people and how they see me as a person and how they perceive me. There were a lot of anxious, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions that night. It was a great challenge. And that very challenge was the beginning of my never-ending story, finding myself. My personal growth and development journey started right there that night, a rainy day by the dining table. It was when I learned and I started to practice how to glow and grow with the many stories I have in my life. How are you using your story to grow and glow? I'm sure you enjoyed listening to my story. And I would like to share some tips with you on this how. And as I said, perhaps you know someone who could benefit from this how that I'm about to share. And perhaps you resonate and we connect in some way to build ourselves together.